All right, so here we go. What time is it?
Ask
your
Your
auntie. Yeah. I don't know what made me do the Cabbage Patch and the butterfly and the everything. I'm like, shit, I ain't done that so long. All right, so this week's Ask Your Auntie question says, and this is from Landon. Landon, who comes in and kind of co-hosts with us from time to time. Hey, Landy.
Hey, Landy.
He said, is it realistic to be in a relationship with someone that is an escort?
My perspective is there's a little bit of kind of like bias that's in the question, because I think as we move closer, particularly in the gay community, but as it should be in any community, as you move closer to sex positivity, what someone does with their body is their choice, and every single person is different. So you could ask the same question of, should you is it realistic to be in a relationship with a banker?
Right.
And so it inherently shames. There's like shame attached to, or potentially like brings up trust issues, but that has less to do with the person's profession, which escorting is a profession for those that do it, and y'all do it well.
Hey, doing it and doing it and doing it well.
But like it's less about what the person is doing and more about who you are as a person. I think the question is, I think the question would better be served is, do I have the capability to trust someone, that has a different sexual need or even profession, that because you run the same risk when you're dating any person that they may be sleeping around and finding somebody else,
and then putting that dick pic on
Twitter. We were just talking about Cynthia Bailey literally before this.
Right. You can meet them in the church. You can meet them in the gutter. It don't matter where you meet them. Everybody's going to be different. So for me, it's less about them being an escort, and more about what is your capacity for trust with that person, and to be able to have the meaningful conversations around what your relationship could look like, assuming that you're dating this person and you're at the place where you're having those conversations when you're determining whether or not you want to move forward with it.
What do you think, Amber?
I definitely think like I love that you said that, Dawon. And so I'll answer sort of the edited question. I could be in a relationship with someone who was an escort. I definitely have friends who are sex workers. They all have partners. Like, there's a lot of very clear communication with that. So I think I could do it. The hot take actually is that sex workers and escorts are super safe. Like, real tea. One time Ben and I were invited to this orgy, and there was so much paperwork to be filled out before about like STDs, NWAs. I was just like, oh damn, they own it. Like, this is the most organized. I think eventually we're like, I ain't even trying to go out tonight because we didn't.
It's like, it's cold out tonight. I'm cool.
Right, we didn't attend because I really be over sex like after 30 minutes. And I'm like, damn, like, what's the running time on this shit? But it was way more organized than I could have ever imagined, because people see it as like, ew, you dirty. Is your man just sleeping with somebody else? It's like, no. Like, sex workers get, like, they stay up to date with their vaccines, their STDs. They do that before they go to shoots, before they meet with people. Like, I know sex workers who quarantine the full 2 weeks before they go sleep with someone. So, I mean, as long as we're like clear on communication, just like we are, when I go to my 9 to 5 or whatever, I could do it.
Yeah. Jerrell, what are you thinking, boo?
Yeah. I'm with both of them. I agree. Like, I personally could date an escort as well and be in a relationship with an escort as well too. I will say it took for me to grow and be where I am now to have the maturity and the understanding of accepting people for who they are. Because back when I was younger, I was definitely like, well, this is what I need it to look like, and it should be like this and X. And I had to shed myself of those ideologies, because what I was doing at the end of the day was blocking my own blessings. Because the truth of the fact is, you know, and Amber, I think you said that before earlier, you know, like Yo King could look a whole lot differently than what you were expecting him to look like.
Yeah.
You know, and so what Dawon was saying, I think it's more about you or what your needs are in the relationship and not more about the person. And I want to say this, like, if dating an escort is not for you or a sex worker is not for you, that's okay. Like, there's no shame in that, you know, but it's not okay to put the shame as if the issue is them being a sex worker or, you know, an escort. That's not the issue. It's your ability to accept or not accept them for who they are. That's the real issue, you know. So you can be in a relationship whoever you want to, whether they're an escort, an ex-convict, a hoe, a murderer, whatever, you know, a normal person, a politician, you know, you can be in a relationship.
Everyone except a Karen.
They dirty.
Right.
Politician
No
be
Karen.
dirty as fuck.
Right.
It would, so like right now, Ben is a 6th grade teacher. I think it would be a lot harder for my partner to be in a relationship if I was the escort, given what he does. I will just kind of acknowledge that because, you know, that's even been a conversation with like, okay, well, if parents see your content, can you stand by this or whatever? You know, even just with what I do now. So if I was, you know, stripping or escorting or something, it would be very hard for us to be together given what his occupation is. It's like, you're a teacher and now all my students can see that you do this. And I'm not saying that's like cause for him to not be with me or whatever, but I think it would be definitely very hard if one person's a politician and one person's like an escort. It would be difficult.
And I think, and that just lines with the needs, you know, like if your need for a partner or someone to be with in a relationship is XYZ, then that's what you should be looking for. But if someone else is an ABC, then don't expect XYZ expectations from them when they are clearly something other, you know. So I think it's just more about what you're looking for and your expectations in a relationship versus who someone else is. Because if you're not into an escort, why the hell are you dating them to begin with? If you know that's not what you're looking for.
And that's what I was thinking too. You all nailed it. I feel like you need to align again with what you want out of a relationship. And if you don't have the maturity or the capability, whatever it may be, to have a successful relationship, and you know that from jump, then don't put yourself and that person through it, because it's not going to change. They were already an escort before they met you, and that's how they were paying their damn bills. Are you going to pay their damn bills? Bills getting high. so it's just like, I feel like
the same thing,
you know, it's like they might need to get extra. They might
get me in the game,
honey, honey, that part,
family affair.
I was like, man, if these videos don't work, we going straight to OnlyFans. I can't do that.
Honey, I know that's right. I know that's right. So that's my only thing. It's just like, don't put your perceived whatever on that person, because they're already dealing with everyone's perception of what escort and sex work is already. They can't have the person that they literally come home and eat dinner with put that same shit on them, because they already trying to like succeed as it is. So that's the only thing. Is just like, if you can't get over that, if you can't, it's just not fair to you or them. And I think just knowing this question, because me and this person actually talked a little bit before, and this is where this question came from, I think it kind of stemmed more from what maybe the friend group and people and outside would think, oh, no, our friend is dating an escort now. We don't care. Shit, let us see the picture too. No, but it's just
I got 5
honey. But I would say don't worry.
Tell me you're an escort. Now, don't have me out here looking like Cynthia. Tell me you're an escort.
That's a true statement. There's got to be a lot of communication too. It's just like you said, a lot of people that are sex workers are way more up on their health than you and I. But I need to know that from jump, though. If I'm getting in a relationship, I don't give a damn about the escorting and shit like that. But I just need to make sure that my needs are still being met sexually, because I know that's a lot of work. Like some days you be like, I don't feel like it's like I just did sex at my. It's like some days you go to work and you don't want to do it at your house. Sometimes you might be like, I just did that all day. I don't feel like doing that right now either.
Take this blue pill and shut the fuck up.
So it's just like, so my needs better be met still, nonetheless. But it's just got to be that constant communication, that constant dialogue and things like that, because their hours are going to be a little different than maybe a 9 to 5 as well. So just knowing all that ahead of time. And if you're cool with it, who give a fuck about what your friend group and your aunties and your uncles and your cousin, your next door neighbor Betty talking about? It don't matter. It don't matter because you're cool and y'all got that communication.
Can I just also, just in the spirit of all transparency, like, you know, like that's our auntie advice. But if it were me, I'd have a problem.
Really?
It wouldn't work for me.
Okay.
And again, what I recognize, and it also, if they had an OnlyFans or if they have like 50,000 followers on any social media, like that would not work for me.
Interesting.
In part because that's my issue, not their issue. Do you know what I mean? Like, I fully recognize that is an issue that I would have, you know, like, fortunately enough, I'm not in that situation. So, you know, it's a moot point, but I just want to put that out there because, like, I know we oftentimes get asked these questions and we say, like, you know, like, here's our advice, you know, but like in real tea, I can honestly say it would take a lot of soul searching for me to get involved with somebody that has that much exposure. And it has less to do about, them and what they're doing and more about me and my own preconceived notions about, I'm a very conservative, I have very conservative values in certain aspects. And so I don't look down on people for doing that. But when I think about like what I can handle emotionally and what I'm prepared to be able to handle, I wouldn't be there yet. Not today. Yeah. I can say it, you know, I can say like, this is the advice, but like, if real tea, if I was out here in these streets and, you know, I think because I'm a, you know, I think because, you know, I used to be a hoe, you know, I ain't got to pop the piss in. So, you know, I ain't going to say nothing. Like, I get it, boo.
Right. Go on, get it, girl.
Doing it better than I did. You get a check with it, bitch. Look, I was giving it away for free.
Honey.
I need to be taking notes.
Exactly. It's like, damn, I barely got a Five Guys burger out of it.
Look, I would just ask for gas money.
Right. It's like, shit.
You know what? See,
Chipotle on the way home.
We had this conversation last week about the gas money. So,
honey, yeah.
But I just wanted to be real. I
don't think I would have an issue
absolutely.
now. Kerel, maybe 10, 15 years ago, maybe. Now, as long as my needs are met as well, and I'm open and communicating that, it's like, I need XYZ. It might be 1 or 2 times. We're like, okay, I'm tired of that. Okay. But the third time, I'm going to get my feelings, you know, because it's like there are needs of what your job are doing. Clearly, you must be doing well because the lights are on. I need you to do just as well for me. And that's real. It's like, so I don't need you to do half-ass, no pun intended, for me while you're out there getting all them bills and doing extra for them. That's the part where I think I would struggle. But if that's your job, honey, we got vacay coming up. Get that coin.
I feel that. And also, Dawon, you know, I personally might feel very differently after we have a child. And I'm like, now, come on now. You can't be like,
that's a real statement.
Dad now. Or you just never know. My brother one time dated a stripper going and thinking it was going to be like, we in the fast life. Like, she about to put it down in the bed every time. And he was like, this was the most stale, like, he's she didn't save nothing for me. And, or she's like, I have to be a fantasy, like, all day at work. Like, I don't want to have to do that in my relationship. And so ultimately for them, it didn't work because he was expecting like more freaky and more just different. It's like, this is a persona. Like, this is my job. Right. So it's not what you thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I don't think I would go above and beyond. Like, I don't think I, like, in my mind think, oh, you definitely need to do some freaky ass shit. Like, I don't think I have like an expectation of above or below, I guess. Like, par for the course, because sometimes, you know, you just need a little par for the course moment. So I don't think that would ever be an issue for me, like this crazy expectation of what escorts do and sex workers do and strippers do. That's interesting, though, that he had that kind of expectation going in.
Yeah, my
But,
my
you know,
love
he's
language
my
is
brother.
quality time. So like it's for me it's about like spending time. And again, it's an issue for me. It's a trust thing, because like what I don't want is you know like somebody who's so focused on their phone and being connected and da 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 that I know that's a trigger for me, and that's something I have to work through. So when I think about this question of, could I be with, can I be is it realistic to be in a relationship with an escort? It's absolutely realistic. Everybody has to make their own choices. And it's less about them being an escort and more about what what you have to deal with, and be honest about that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that was a good one. We haven't had that question come up. So thank you, Landy, for sending that. And if this is a real life situation, we want to see the pictures.
That part.
Continue to send your Ask Your Aunties questions to Minority Report or what is it? AYA at minorietyreport.com, or DM us. 144 episodes, and you would think I'd get it, and I don't every damn episode. AYA at minorietyreport.com, or DM us.